Hello everybody, it is Tuesday, the 14th of December. I want to talk about that it is high time that humanity grew up. In fact, I think we are growing up, and I don't think there's anything we can do about that. Us in our development in the physical, we're being told your thoughts are directing you, but that is nurture. There's also nature, and nature will make you grow up, whether your thoughts are ready or not. So we are not choosing to be 2-year-old, 5-year-old. We don't choose to go through puberty. And before we know it, we are 57 years old, and there was nothing I could do about that either. So that's nature. But then there's nurture. Nurture is creating the perception. Nurture is giving the knowledge. And out of that, the way between the knowledge and the perception. Now, this has been on my mind for a while, and what I'm about to say is extremely brutal, and it might offend a lot of people. But I want to talk about John St. Julian. I've just watched him again, and I'm not talking against him. I think he's a very, very beautiful human being, and he's doing amazing work there in Africa with those disabled children. But he is talking more and more about being guided by the angelic realms. And this is where we need to grow up and have discernment. And where he said that he was attracted to, or rather maybe they were attracted to him, and he got guidance from them to go to Africa to build this home for disabled children, and how he can see, or did see, the blue light beings around him, and how they're praying for the children. You know, the light in the angelic realm. That's one perception of what he might be looking at. And I'll give you another one here, and I said it is brutal. From how he described his life before this transformation. He was in pain, and he has now built a home for children that are in pain. So he was guided by these blue beings, and he says, they came to help him. Another perception would be that they're feeding off his pain. And he's just built a feeding trough for them in Africa. This is where we need to grow up. As below, so above. We must get out of this perception that everything that is up there is good. They are of the light, so are we. We are made from the light. We have a different form, but we are made from the light. And as we can be good or bad, so can they, light or not. But if we are, because I've been thinking about this, if we are, let me just say one more thing about what's going on in Africa there. As John said, they are praying for the children. Now those children are in pain and they are not recovering. So what kind of angels are they? They're not much good with their prayers. Whereas in the Bible, fishermen, uneducated fishermen, believing, healed the sick. There was actual healing there. So why is there no healing in that place? I'm not trying to be nasty to John, but I'm actually worried. because there's no discernment. You know, you go into the angelic realm, they are of the light. So are we. And as I said, I think humanity is growing up, and that is nature. But we are being nurtured. It is like we are being made ready. We are being groomed. We are being groomed to be led like lambs to the slaughter once this happens. Out of this total inferiority complex and this wrong perception that everything up there is good. Therefore, if you're being told something that is against your nature, it's your nature that is at fault. Our nature is the expression of our light. Our light. And it brings me back, really, very strongly today to my Stargate dream, where I saw us coming to a Stargate. And there was a light set in there, you know, like the round thing in the Stargate film. And there was a light set in there, and it was, funnily enough, a blue light, a bluish-white light. And I saw that those that went through that light, although they made it through to the other side, they were in great pain. They were in great pain. And in my dream, I went up to the Stargate, and there was a dial, and I changed the color of the light. And I went through, because I held my hand toward the Stargate, and the blue light was wrong. It felt wrong. So I changed the dial, and the color of the Stargate changed. And I went through a different color. And those that went through that color were happy on the other side. They were extremely happy. Because they went through as themselves. They did not become something that would serve something else, believing that everything else apart from us is good. Therefore, they must change to serve that. The only way we can serve, that is to say, give a knowledge of the Creator, a perception to everybody else that might serve, is by us being ourselves. And that is how we must grow up. We must become ourselves. We must be strengthened in what we are. As I said, I am wondering what's happening, whether it is something we can prevent from happening. But it may just be like growing up in this world. It will happen. The question is, are you ready to then take the responsibility of a grown-up or be a grown-up? Or are you being led through like a child that has still no idea of what it is itself, and that will forever take orders from something else, believing that it's bigger than itself, and believing that it is good. Always believing that it is good. That's good as bad. And then if it says something against our nature, bad nature. That is not how it is. So, but as I said, we are being groomed. Religion and everything else is grooming us to go through this phase of growing up, and where our awareness may widen whether we're ready or not. Then we must be ready. I think we are about to be led into a new playground to play with the big boys. And then we better be ready to stand up to them by being ourselves. Anyway, I think I'll leave it at that, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.